And our first contestant will be Bill Jeffrey. Imagine your harvest, plant your seed. Imagine your harvest, plant your seed. Bill Jeffrey.
Thank you, Toastmasters and honored guests. We are in about 4 levels of somebody's harvest right now. First, somebody imagined and then planted this building, just the building. Before the Way of Happiness Foundation came, there was a stationery store, which is the second level. Somebody imagined, gee, I could have a business in that building. They thought about it, they planted the seeds, they made the effort, they gathered the materials, the money, the workers, whatever they needed. And then now the Way to Happiness. Somebody had the idea, wow, empty building. Way of Happiness, there's an idea, what do we need to do? They planted the seeds, and here it is. It didn't just happen, but it went out from thought to the heart, to the action, gathered people, and it's happening now. We have things like that in our lives, but I mentioned another level of this, I almost forgot. We're in a contest here. And everybody in this room either had the idea to either participate in the contest or support it. Planted the seeds, gathered the umbrellas on this terrible day, warm clothes, and made it. These are successful harvests. Great. We have those in our lives. We can look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm doing that right. But what about unsuccessful harvests? These are the things that vex us and hurt us the most. Sometimes we've planted bad seeds, incorrect seeds, mistaken seeds, and just somehow picked up a habit that won't go away, a credit card that will not stay paid off, an apartment that will not stay neat. These are the harvests. And sometimes they're tragic. I mean, it can lead to alcoholism, drug addiction, and it's a harvest of something that got planted, maybe by somebody else or maybe by us. We can't get rid of it. But they are genuine harvests of a genuine seed that was planted. So first, I'd like to say, anything like that proves that your inner workings are working, because you're manifesting a bad harvest, an unpleasant harvest, from a seed. So a seed was planted, and the harvest is such as it is. What do? How do you change that? There's a book out there, you can get Aletheia's tickets, and it says The Power of Now. But I'd like to say something about the power of now. We're looking at this harvest, it's horrible. You know, there's weeds in our garden, there's, you know, too much alcohol, too much debt, whatever it is. What do you do with that? This is going to sound a little strange, but nothing. To the extent you can ignore it, ignore it. It is a harvest. It's like looking in your garden and seeing a bunch of weeds, or habanero peppers that somebody else planted. You can't make them into tomatoes, so just ignore them. Of course, if you have to pay off your credit card, you do have to make payments, but you don't have to say, oh, I'm evil, I'm stupid, I am out of control. Just ignore it. Deal with the maintenance, and that's fine. You'll be happy to know that you don't have to beat yourself every single day when you look in the mirror and look at your credit card bills, look at your apartment that doesn't stay neat. Just ignore it. It's a harvest. It's from past seeds. That will allow you or me to plant new seeds. I don't want that harvest to come again, but I don't want to keep beating myself. There's a neurological reason I'm saying this, and I'll get to that in a minute. But if I keep saying, oh, I'm slothful, I'm lazy, I'm fat, I'm to this or to that, we're just reinforcing it. We're reinforcing it at the neurological level. We are keeping the pathways that have already been programmed healthy and happy. We don't want that. That's where the habits are. Get rid of the habits. Ignore the old habits, plant new seeds. Yeah, I am so happy. I have 10% body fat, and I'm lean, and I'm flexible, and I have good cardiovascular health. You're gonna see a lot less of me within the next 2 years, by the way. You keep planting seeds like that, okay, that's nice, blah, blah, blah. But you keep saying that and believing it, and it sounds like a lie for a while, but after a while you get used to it. And I found myself saying, wow, there's a lot of overweight people, like I'm not one of them. So you program yourself, you're planting seeds, and it's getting in there, it's getting in there. The next thing you know, it's not just intellectual, it's emotional. You don't know where these seeds go, but pretty soon you've got a harvest. It's coming up. And what does it feel like? Well, you ever have a big dog on a short leash that wants to go? And suddenly you're being dragged by this dog. Things are rising in you that you didn't have before. Well, where did they come from? They came from planting these ridiculous seeds like, I have 10% body fat. I am so happy I have only 10% body fat, and I'm strong and flexible and lean and have stamina. My credit cards are all paid off because I manage my money well. Over and over, and the next thing, oh, there's a sale on. No, I won't do that. That's a change. Pretty soon this harvest is coming up. And the next thing you know, you're building a building, you're starting a contest, you're living differently. And why does this work? Because every time we have the same old thought, it reinforces it. Neurologically, it goes through the pathways, it makes it easier for it to happen. But when we ignore it, that pathway, just like a street that is intended, begins to get potholes, it begins to erode. Actually, the neurons, the connections, begin to erode. They are dissolved, and the materials are recycled to make new pathways, new neurons for the new thing, the new seeds, the new harvest that we're imagining. Imagine my harvest, plant my seeds, get a result. Call to action, like Craig said, imagine your harvest. Plant your seeds over and over. You will get a harvest.
Timer, please give us 1 minute. Sorry.